becoming a bit of a habit, but this is how I start my morning. Every morning I walk in to my office, I say, hey, what's going on the internets? What's the latest breaking House of the Dragon news? Any updates on Winds of Winter? What is George R. R. Martin up to himself? In this video, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Usually, for these House of the Dragon videos, I cover mostly breaking news. In this video, I'm going to cover a theory that I've kind of just sort of realized this is the way they're going to portray this story, most likely, on screen. Before we jump into any of that, please do me a massive favor, and if you like my little strip dance at the beginning of this video, slap a like on it. Like goal is going to be 42069. Alright, so if you saw the thumbnail, everybody fucks in this show. Like, literally everyone. Alright? So one of the things that I noticed when we're getting, these images, I'll throw a couple up on the screen, but you could see that Alicent, Queen Alicent, and Princess Rhaenyra of Dragonstone, the Princess of Dragonstone, obviously next in line for the Iron Throne, at a younger age, they were closer. They were almost girlfriends. And then you read up on Alicent, and then you realize that, hold up, according to the manuscripts, according to the Maesters, according to Fire and Blood Part 1, Alicent, there were rumors that she was sleeping with Jaehaerys. Alicent was factually known to spend the last few moments of Jaehaerys' life together. And if you're unaware, Jaehaerys was the old king, right? So I've mentioned him several times in my videos. He's my favorite Targaryen king. He was known as the Conciliator. During his reign, 50 years, he was able to amount multiple successful campaigns. He was aware of his weaknesses and turned those weaknesses into some of his greatest strengths. He was an admirable dude, all around fucking amazing. He had a marriage with Alicent, and she was a Targaryen queen. She famously rode her dragon up north. She wanted to see the wall. She tried to get her dragon to fly north of the wall, but her dragon was like, no. That's something that I hope they address on this new series. Like, obviously, she'll be dead, but it could be, brought up, sort of as dialogue between two characters. But, in Jaehaerys' last days, Alicent would spend a bunch of time with him. So much to the point that he mistaked her, Alicent, for his daughter, Syrah, who had sort of ran away, kind of. So, it was rumored that Daemon fucked with Alicent, and that's the reason why Sir Otto, Alicent's father, doesn't like Prince Daemon, because Daemon took Alicent's maidenhood. But you could also kind of, because, there's that promiscuity rumor with Alicent, you could kind of say that she was maybe, sort of doing certain favors for Jaehaerys, right? Because there was also rumors that while Queen Aemma Arryn was still alive, so this is Rhaenyra's mother, and, while she's still alive, married to King Viserys, who's obviously Rhaenyra's father, Prince Daemon's brother, there was rumors that Alicent was actually sleeping with King Viserys. So while he was married to Rhaenyra's mother, while she was still alive, there was rumors that they were sleeping together. Now, she didn't have children until they had, they got married, but it's noted that when King Viserys chose to marry Alicent, he went against all of the advice of his small council. His small council told him to get married, but they didn't say to marry Alicent. A lot of people think that the hand of the king at the time, who was Alicent's father, Sir Otto, sort of overstepped his bounds. I'm thinking maybe the show will do something if they're going to play up those rumors of Alicent and Viserys having an affair before Queen Aemma even dies. If they're going to play those rumors up, maybe we could see a conversation between King Viserys and Sir Otto where it's sort of hinted like, hey man, I know that you sort of disemboweled your marriage, like you broke, the laws of the Seven Kingdoms. Obviously you're the king, but come on, I know you fucked my daughter while you were still married to the queen, so why don't you make me your hand, kind of thing. I think that would be an interesting dynamic. But really, the whole point of this fucking video is that I actually think that even though Viserys was having sex with Alicent before he was married to her, Alicent's children, mainly Aegon II, is actually, and Aemon, is actually Daemon's children. Hear me out. If Alicent is sleeping with the old king or just doing certain things. Obviously, that's not the only sort of promiscuous thing she's doing. And no, there's nothing wrong with it, because if a man does it at the same age or whatever, everybody's like, high five, dude, yeah, instead of calling him a whore. No, it's whatever. You know, everybody does whatever. But if that's the case, and she's doing that stuff with Jaehaerys, then maybe Daemon didn't actually take her maidenhood. Maybe it was someone else. Maybe she just, you know, like everybody else back then, when you're sort of trapped and confined in a box, any sort of lick of freedom you get, you just, you know, I know I'm going all out there, but maybe it's possible that Daemon and Alicent had a bit of an relationship. Obviously, she had one with Viserys. She's trying to sort of bide her power, doing what men did back then. And basically, I think that she continued that affair. Her father knew about it. And this is where that rivalry comes in. It just makes sense. It's not actually stated why Daemon and Sir Otto hate each other. But if just imagine if, you know, his grandchildren aren't legitimate heirs because they're the actual children of Daemon, who's like not the next in line for the Iron Throne, well, that sort of takes away all of Sir Otto Hightower's power, right? So it would make sense as to why he wouldn't like Daemon, and there's like several layers to it, because also with Daemon not being named next in line for the Iron Throne and being the actual children, it's kind of like that relationship with Jaime and Cersei almost. So it's like, it's similar to Game of Thrones, but there's also a bigger, you know, picture of like who are the strong boys. So there's so many different layers to this show. I think this is a good point to wrap this video up. It's not like one of those, you know, dead on theories. It's kind of like, well, Alicent was fucking everybody. Maybe her children aren't Viserys's. Maybe Sir Otto knows that, and they're actually Daemon's children. So just imagine when Daemon faces off with his nephew above the Battle of the God's Eye, and he ends up killing Aemon One Eye, and he's like, now's a good time to die, Nuncle. It's really father and son. And maybe this series can actually make that like kind of a thing, because it's almost there in the source material. I don't know, but you all let me know what you all think down below in the comment section. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. I'll take off my shirt one more time. Just kidding. Zadrizas buzdari ixos daor long not. Wow, boo.